Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich.
There's a book called Think and Grow Rich. Do you know what your book says? Work and grow rich. The book says, think and grow rich.
Why is it that people are successful? It's simply this. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? It's because the rich think about wealth and affluence all the time. And what do the poor think about? The poor think about lack, loss, and limitation, risk, danger, fear, failure all the time.
If you will change, everything will change for you. You don't have to change what's outside. All you've got to change is what's inside.
If you can get a mental image of the person you would most like to become, begin now to act as that person would act in everything you do. Gradually, imperceptibly, you will actually become that person.
Develop clear goals and make plans for their accomplishment. You see, if you have big goals, they motivate you, they stimulate you, they excite you, they enthuse you. If you have no goals at all, you just go around in circles. What we have found is that goals are the fuel in the furnace of achievement. You have big goals, and the more you work on the goals and the more you feel yourself progressing toward them, the better you feel, the more positive you feel, the more momentum you develop, and the more you feel yourself to be unstoppable.
Never say you can't do it. Say, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And that's true with everything. It's like, there's nothing that you can't do. You may not have done it yet. We don't know if you can do it or not until you really practice. And then you find out if you can do it or not, or how well you can do it.
Yeah, most of us believe, I can't. You know, I don't have it, I can't do it. Our natural tendency is to sell ourselves short. Our natural tendency is to think of the reasons why we can't before we think of the reasons why we can.
A negative mental attitude can bring you nothing but failure. Remember always, you are where you are and what you are because of your mental attitude in which you relate yourself to other people. Remember also, your mental attitude is the one and the only thing over which you have complete control. Success is something which has to be planned, and success is something which has to be earned in advance.
So many people ask me, is it possible to train your brain to help you make more money? And the answer is yes.
Imagine feeling so whole that it's impossible to want. I mean, how can you want when you're whole? Because you feel like you already have it. Now, when you reach that point, that's when the magic happens, because now you are worthy to receive. And the universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving.
Before you can do something, you must first be something. Before you can do what you would most like to do, you must first become the person who can do it.
In order to achieve your goals, he said, first you have to have the clarity of what they are. So let's say you have a financial goal of making, let's say $100,000 a year. Okay, that's about $8,500 a month, or about, $2,150 every week that you want to earn. And let's say you're not earning that right now. One of the things you can do to train your brain to help you make that amount of money is, first and foremost, get clear on the exact amount you want to earn, whether it's per week, per month, or per year. That's step number one. Step number two, create a simple affirmation that goes like this. I am so happy and grateful for the fact that I am now earning $10,000 a month. Simple affirmation. And what I want you to do is I want you to read that affirmation every single morning 5 to 10 times, and every single night before you go to bed 5 to 10 times. And as you read that affirmation, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to practice, mentally rehearse you receiving that money in the form of a check or cash or in your bank account, and see the money going into your bank account. I want you to feel what it feels like to consistently have $10,000 a month coming into your bank account. And you can choose whatever amount you want, by the way. So if you do that in the morning and at night before bed, morning upon waking up, nighttime before bed, you will start to prime your brain with an affirmation, with a mental rehearsal, and you will cognitively prime your brain. And if you want a bonus step, what I want you to do is take a vision board, either on your computer or a physical board, and cut out some pictures of what lifestyle earning $10,000 a month will allow you to live. What kind of car would you drive? What kind of places would you go vacation in? What kind of home would you live in? What kind of charities would you support? Get pictures of the outcome of earning $10,000 a month is, or $100,000 a year, and start to see yourself in that scenario and act as if it is real right now.
You have to believe in yourself.
Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins here with my dear friend.
Happy Monday. What's going on? Let's go. Let's grow. What's going on? Happy Monday, leaders, man. Shout out to all of you. Super, super excited. Somebody put "it is done" in the chat. It is done. Yes, yes. Your title, it is done. Your success, whatever level that you're trying to get to, whatever generational curses you're breaking, it is already done. We are just doing I would say, the little heavy lifting, right? We're doing the little detail part, is just doing the work, man. So shout out to all of you who hopped on. You're doing what 90% of people aren't doing. So you're going to have what 90% of people just doesn't have, man. This is a special training tonight. Super, super excited. It is already done, like I said, in the Monday. We're blessed. We're fortunate. All praise to the Most High for getting us here on another Monday. Shout out to Kim. What's going on, Mary? What's going on, Octavia? What's going on, Summer? All of the queens who are always locked and loaded, who are ready to serve, and more importantly, who's open for business. Yes, it is already done, man. So shout out to you, everybody who's got your God's creative power. Shout out to the brand new affiliates. Welcome you. If you don't have this, get this. Give this book to your mentees, y'all. God's creative power. It is spiritual law, not just what Drew is saying. I'm gonna give y'all some of the first parts of this right before we jump into this training, and I'm gonna move on out the way. I'm gonna do a little bit of housekeeping, but this book is talking about spiritual law, right? It is not theory, it is fact. He said it is spiritual law. It works every time applied correctly. God never does anything without saying it first. So we're gonna talk about some mentorship, talking about leadership, talking about mindset tonight. That's gonna go right into what we're talking about. So God is a faith God, right? God released his faith in a word. So man, let's dive into this and do what he said and not what man said. So as we dive into this training, man, I'm gonna do a little bit of housekeeping and move on out the way. As I said, I am super, super excited and super pumped up. I hope you are as well, because we're gonna get to it tonight. If you don't see your team members on, I highly encourage you to get them on, because it's important for them to grow with you, right? You don't want to try to regurgitate information that we could all get at the same exact time. So that's very important that we're all growing together. Now, we do what go-getters do best, of course. Our goal is to help everybody grow, everybody win, but more importantly, all of the people who we love the most actually thrive and have some type of abundance in their lives. And then we have a saying, if we're all winning, who's losing? Let me know if you guys can see my screen for some reason and it is not sharing. I'm trying to pull it up. Let me know if you can see the screen. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see my screen. For some reason, Zoom is tripping.
We can see it now, sir.
You can see it. Thank you so much, Rochelle. Okay, I'm gonna jump into it and hit share. Slideshow. There we go. So we dive into this. Now we're talking about, shout out to all of you, because you all are business owners, right? And not just having a business, but running a business is important. Of course, according to our senior vice president, which has already had some successful businesses, helping people grow, helping to win. So we definitely want to take heed to that, right? In order to do that, we got to have a game plan. Every business, no matter if it's selling, let's just say music, or if it's selling food, they have a game plan, right? They have a system in place. So you want to get started, right, and run the system that's profitable for you and your business, providing daily value, connecting with people, right? Because we are in a people business. Attending your overviews, whether they be virtual or whether they be in person, especially some of those in-person overviews, because those are some of the most, I would say, impactful for you and your business, right? Getting trained, what you're doing right now, staying locked in, getting 1% better every single day is going to help you have success, help you grow, and help you hit your goals. And you definitely want to stay connected to your mentor, stay connected to the leadership, and stay connected to the source, your game plan, and most importantly, stay connected to God, right? Attending your Super Saturday, your regional. Somebody put Project 500. This king that's coming up tonight, man, he's got a team of over 81, if I'm not mistaken, right? I don't want to misquote that, but 81, almost the amount of people who's on the training right now that's going to be coming to this, I would say, national training. That's what we're looking forward to, having the biggest training ever in Nova's history, and the Go-Getters will be there. Super excited about that. Committing to personal development is key. That's something that this king is going to talk about tonight. We're so excited that we have the ability to grow and actually have the opportunity to grow as much as we want to on a day-to-day basis. Your income can only grow as far as as much as you do, right? Mental, physical, and financial fitness is a cure-all to absolutely almost everything, right? So being here a year from now is important because we understand that statistics say that most businesses, in fact, in less than 2 years, about 82% are out of business. And we're fortunate enough that Nova's been around for 11 years, and the Go-Getters has been around for some years, as well as your business will be in line. Now, this is a game plan for you. If you're brand new, get into phase one. We're not going to go into depth to this. I'm going to go ahead and just leave this up here for you to take a screenshot and actually start and implement this with your mentor. But I want you to definitely pay attention to this, whether you're brand new or you're a seasoned affiliate. This is what you want to be doing on a day-to-day basis to making sure your business is growing. Peaking interest. Is your business open, right? Are you having conversations? Are you making connections? Are you building your list every single day? Are you following up with the people who said that they wanted to use one of your products and services, right? And are you sharing or giving free value to people? That's something we all can do for free, right, Rochelle? I love that because we have the ability to add value to people's lives just because we can. And that's a true blessing and a gift in itself. And then connecting two people to a tool that's not yourself. Trying to sell people, you're trying to share information, right? And grading yourself daily on execution. That's how we fill out these dashboards. That's how we all have accountability. And that's how we all have a way and a system to grow. Now, I'm going to do what go-getters do best. Move on out the way. And I'm fortunate enough to be sharing the stage with this phenomenal king. He's not only a heavy hitter, he's a go-getter, and he's got a phenomenal team. He's out of Chicago, but he's all over the country, man. I love his lifestyle. I love what he's doing, but more importantly, I love that he's on his go-getter training, giving us value. And I just love the man that he is because he's an inspiration for us all. He has some foundational things that he has in his life and his business, and it definitely reflects on his team. So definitely, if you can, put some love, put some fire, some hearts in the chat for not only our senior sales director, but he is a man of God, a father, and an incredible leader, none other than Mr. Aziz Shabazz. If you can come on up here, King, happy Monday, man. I thank you just for being the person you are, but more importantly, coming up here, providing value, and just really, spreading the way to how people can actually win with this amazing opportunity.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Thank you. First and foremost, Drew, I got to give it back to you as always, man. It's always good to see you, bro. My brother from another mother, man. I got to give it back to Joe. All the other leaders that train on this platform, that's helping me grow my team, right? You asked me how I grow my team, right? Now, how I do what I do is because I'm leveraging y'all. We all leveraging each other. So that's something that's very important, really, like tapping people into the system. I got to give it back to the CEO, the CMO, the COO, the C-suite in general. Just a phenomenal company. Of course, shouts out to all the go-getters. Of course, shouts out to all the heavy hitters, man. Let's go. Let's get it, Drew. Pleasure, bro. So, Drew, did you wanna ask me anything before we get started, or am I just
And
gonna
then probably
run
on the
with
back,
this thing?
probably on the back end too, man. I had some questions. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick because I really wanted to get inside, your mindset because of course you're a phenomenal leader and you have a huge, a movement of team, but that can't be easy, right? And of course we understand that. I just, had a few questions just on the mindset. First off, man, just being the man that you are, been in this business for a couple of years, kind of tell some people who don't already know a little bit about your story if you can. And then I just had a few questions in terms of, how, you're able to have so much success. And then, of course, we'll get into some of those questions. But for the people who don't necessarily know you just like that, which they should already, I definitely give them a little bit of background, a little bit of, inspiration on how you were able to get to where you are right now.
Yeah. So I guess when it comes to my background, a lot of people know me as a real estate agent. And in this industry, I really don't like that, to be honest. right? Because then they put it on like, oh well, he could be successful because he's a real estate agent, right? And that's just the furthest thing from the truth. And I love that the fact that real estate agents have a great perspective. Like people have a great perspective of viewing and hold them to a high standard. But at the same time, what I find when we're talking about mindset, I find that a lot of people in this industry are afraid to talk to real estate agents, right? Afraid to talk to loan officers, afraid to talk to insurance agents. And, like you shouldn't be afraid to talk to these individuals in those professions because they may not even be doing good in that profession, right? And at the same time, you're an expert in what you do, they're an expert in what they do, even if they are good in that profession, right? But my background, yes, I was a real estate agent, but I also come from corporate America before that. I was in corporate America, worked my way up from the bottom, 5 promotions in 4 years. Before that, I was working temp agencies. I was doing that, right? I always been an entrepreneur. Like I had box trucks and stuff like that, right? But then before that, I was a mechanic. I used to work on cars, right? I was what they call a grease monkey. I come home smelling like oil, I'm burning my arms, my back hurting, right? And so I come from, just a grind. Since I was as young as I can remember, I was always cutting grass, trying to start my own car wash on the bike, raking leaves, shoveling snow, like whatever it is that was out there to do, I was trying to do it. I did some construction, I don't even like heights. I'm on roofs. I don't like heights. They telling me I gotta take this nail gun and nail this piece of wood to the top of the roof frame. And I said, how I do that when the frame all the way over there? They say, you got to lean over. What? I don't even want to be up here, bro. But I just say all of that to say this. Everybody got a beginning. Everybody got a starting place. And don't just look at what somebody's profession is and say, oh, I can't talk to that person. Right. So that's just kind of some of my history as far as just like, entrepreneurship, but working in the construction industry, mechanic industry, auto industry, but then realizing that, man, I got something that is more powerful than my hands, right? My mind, I always knew like, man, my mind could have me doing something better than just this work that I'm doing with my hands. And then do I see my life being like this for the rest of my life? So we gotta overcome that of, well, it's gonna be hard to achieve. I'm stuck right here. I had somebody, I talked to somebody the other day and I said, man, when you want to lock in, when you want to lock in, I'm here. Let's run. I want to run with you. Man, Aziz, I feel like I just can't get it. I guess I'm just stuck at this 9 to 5 forever. Like they settling. So that's really the wrong mindset to have. And when we're talking about things like that, we might not be talking to the minority of individuals that's in Nove or in the network marketing or MLM industry. We might not be talking to the minority of people, but we are talking to the majority of people that come into this industry, right? Even the sales industry, all sales industry, that is the majority that people really struggle with mindset issues. It's crazy that you was playing that video in the beginning though, because I was thinking like, man, I got like a mindset presentation that if Drew need me to do a presentation, I got something tucked. I got something in my back pocket that I could just run real quick if I had to. And it was that type of presentation. Man, shouts out to Hazik. Man, was y'all on what was that? The Sunday training? Was y'all on the training? Drop some ones in the chat if y'all was on the training last night that Hazik did. Man, about just praise and mindset and winning over people and influencing people. Man, that training was fire. And this the part, y'all. The best part of the training was the beginning. If you missed the beginning, you missed one of the best parts of that training, so you should definitely run that back. For sure, for sure. So that's kind of like my background right there.
Powerful, man. Obviously, you got to be a resilient person to even, to experience that and still become a six-figure entrepreneur, soon to be seven-figure entrepreneur, still building a team. Like, what's some of the things, and I would say some of your biggest challenges, even encountering that, right? So obviously your mindset has to be different, understanding that even if I'm at a job, let's just say, because all of us can work, as an employee, right? But not having an employee mindset. Like, so what was like your biggest challenge when making that shift?
The biggest challenge for me making the shift to an entrepreneur,
Yeah, and
man,
becoming like even like you said, having all those experiences, working at doing all type of odd jobs and things like that. How did you always know that you'll become a successful entrepreneur? Because that you got to be resilient, experiencing those things and still being able to make it through on the other side of that, and also have a great support system.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for me, it wasn't like I was always a 9 to 5 type of worker employee. I mean, I always had a job, right? I
No doubt.
always was doing something, right? But it was like, for me, it was more like, uh, how do I like focus my mind in on working a job? Because I'm always an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Like I always been this way. Like, but I seen my mom like that too. I seen my brothers, I seen people in the neighborhood and stuff. I always seen like an entrepreneurial type of spirit, right? So that was always, I think, something that was embedded in me is just that grind, just that hustle. So like I think though, if I could speak on it, I won't say it's necessarily for me, right? And I might not be the best person to speak on this because if somebody's always had a 9 to 5 mindset and then they're trying to transition into entrepreneurship.
You what you doing?
I'm grinding. We grinding. Let's go, Shaquita. She said, "What you doing? We grinding. We in the trenches, right?" Shouts out to you though, Queen. Glad you're on the call. But for an individual that has to go from 9 to 5 to entrepreneur, if you never really had that mindset or never really were in that lane, I think something has to like trigger something. It has to be a pain point for that person to where they like, I'm tired of doing this and now I got to try something else. It has to be like a pain point for them because either they never ventured into that before or there's a pain point where it's like, I got to do something else that's different. Pain will push you. Pain will make you move. It's some people probably on this call right now that's like, I don't want no pain, but they say no pain, no gain. Sometimes you got to have a little pain, something that sting you a little bit for you to go ahead and get up and do something about it, right? So, but for me personally, I will say this, Drew. Maybe I won't say I was born with it, but maybe I got hit with the pain early. When we think about it like that, and Drew, you muted, bro. You muted because I see you talking, bro.
No, I was just agreeing with you, man. I think that's a big deal. That's just one thing I was going to ask you. Is one of the questions is, one, how do you build through it, adversity and having that pain? Because being an entrepreneur, we all know on here, it's not easy, right? So how would you, what one? I got a question I should have asked you earlier. What books are you currently reading? Because we always talk about that. That's something that I really think everybody should kind of learn from you on, what you're currently reading. And then number two, how do you handle that adversity and that pain and use that as fuel to get to the next level or use that to build your business?
Yeah, yeah. So like I said, that pain will turn you. And I think I probably got the pain earlier, just like I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, nothing like that, right? Like literally we had times no heat, no water, right? Cold house in the middle of the winter. I don't even know if they can still do that anymore. Can they still cut your heat off in the winter now? I don't know.
Hope
No.
not.
But because I know they can't do that no more, can they?
No.
But I'm showing some age because they could cut your heat off in the middle of the winter at one point. Like that didn't matter, So like we it been points, wasn't no food in the refrigerator, right? So I think the pain point hit me very early. But then it's when that pain point hits you, whatever it is, and even if it's this administration, somebody getting hit with a pain point now because they took SNAP. I heard they took SNAP away, right? So that's gonna be a pain point for somebody. So everybody gonna have their time and their process. But then it's like, where's your mind at when that pain point hits on what you decide you're gonna do with it? You
Never
know
want
what
to
you
go back.
yeah. You get to the point where you're like, man, I can't go back. Or it's gonna be that's the mindset that you should have, Miss Hubbard. But some people gonna have the mindset of it's always something bad that's happening to me. You know what I'm saying? This is why I can't get ahead. It's always, but wait, hold on, they took everybody's snap, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? So why is just you, or it's always us. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you gotta have that mindset that say, look, I'm gonna take something, I'm gonna do something with this. You know what? This probably pushed me to go further. God ain't gonna bring me to a point and leave me, right? I got faith, I got belief. Another thing that you were saying, what helps you turn that pain point into progress is that I have belief that whatever it is that I want to do, that I can go out and I can achieve that, right? And sometimes the belief has to come from, I see somebody else doing it, but ain't nothing special about them that I can't do, especially when it comes to the world of entrepreneurship. We're not talking about athleticism. We're talking about the ability to think, process, and execute. Think, process, learn, and then execute. That's a level playing field. So when you give me an opportunity on a level playing field, that's something that anybody could really achieve, or most people could really achieve, then at that point it's game on. So I can't look at the things that I can't do. I could just look at sometimes what somebody else doing and say, man, I can do that as well. But I know too that it's gonna take some discipline. It's gonna take some consistency. It's gonna take me executing. It's gonna take some effort of me putting in some work. But if I deny any of these things, then I'm not gonna get the end result. Because see, sometimes y'all, we look at other people's progress, especially with social media, and everybody make everything look easy. And man, I can't do what this person do, or I can't dress how this person dress, or I can't, I don't got the car that this person got. I don't got the house that this person have. It's so easy for them. But you didn't see that they had to put in work to get there. And that means they had to start somewhere too. So maybe you can't do certain things or make it look a certain way like they do, but don't mean you can't bring value that you have. You got to start where you at and bring value there. Don't think that you got to have a nice car in order to get, somebody attention. Why don't you talk about books? Why don't we go and read? Why don't we go and study? And then bring some value to the table. Something that's tangible, because they might see somebody else that's doing very well and not even want to talk to that person because they doing too well. They might want to talk to somebody who they feel like can relate to them at the point they at right now. So that's why it's important, no matter what level we get to, that we always let people know what our story is, that we can relate to everybody, no matter what walk of life that they in, considering where we came from, right? The other question you asked me about books. What books am I reading? Man, I'm not going to cap to you. I'm not reading no books right now. And I should. I mean, I've read Think and Grow Rich. I've read some Grant Cardone books. I've read some, the Art of War books, and one of my favorite books is the Go Giver. That's a good one. The Go Giver is really good. But what I do is, because I don't have time to read. I want to have more time, right? And that's why we pushing for this financial freedom. But I listen to a lot of audio.
Powerful. So
Right?
you
I'm
do read,
always,
King. So you're always, see, now you
I'm
tricked them.
absorbing, I'm
Yeah,
listening,
I
I'm
love that.
developing,
Yeah, I
I
love
just
that.
don't have the book,
Right, for
you
sure. But
know, the
see, that,
paper
that's something
book.
that I mean, Joel will tell you that's kind of how I had to consume information and knowledge. A lot of you on here might not have or feel like you got the time. And that's a great way is get Audible, ebooks. There's free books on YouTube. Listening to them, you might not have the time to read because like Aziz said, think about somebody that's working 80, 90 plus hours a week and they feel like, man, I don't even got the time to even consume this. You can download it. You can listen to audio while you're driving to work, while you're listening. So you see, Aziz said he didn't read, but he's listening, so he's always consuming the knowledge, man. Thank you, King, for sharing that. Because I was like, man, you just dropped so many nuggets. And then you said the Go Giver. If somebody can drop that in a chat, that's a good book because we always want to know what leaders, even if they aren't reading that book currently, what they have reading. And I would challenge everybody on this call to ask your mentor, what are they reading right now, or what are they consuming, what type of information, right? We know we always got the word of God always in our face and just the living word, but what are you consuming on a regular basis to feed your mind, to give you that strength and have that mindset. So I love that you shared that, King. And you said some
Yeah.
phenomenal things about, just
Anybody ever read? Drop me in the chat if you've ever read The Go Giver.
put that in the chat, please. Right?
Yeah, drop that in the chat. I don't know how I came across that book, but it
Yeah,
was
that's powerful. And you said
really
something that I think really can help everybody, whether they're a new affiliate, intermediate, whether you're advanced, about belief. Somebody put his, that's why when I started out, I said it's done, Think and Go Rich. We all, we both read that book, Aziz, and now I'm gonna go back to it just because we brought it up, right? Because just because we read it, don't mean that we don't go back into that. But if you put it's done, Aziz said and some incredible things. He said, believe. That's knowing that if it's been done in this movement, inside of this movement, God is already telling you it can be done, right? We know that we have right now in our lineage a senior vice president. So Aziz and Drew ain't guessing or trying to figure out how to get there. I know Aziz is not. He just saying how long it's gonna take, how many people can he help along the way, and then when is it gonna happen? So I know his belief is already there, right? Because it's already been done. So that's something that I don't even have to ask him, right? Because he kind of said it, believing that it can be done. Then he also said, thinking and process, if you can think, you can receive the information, process the information. Everybody can learn this. Everybody on this call right now can learn how to do this. Whether you're really good at it now, that can be a thing that you can assess, right, on a scale of 1 to 10, or you're getting good at it. So that means everybody can think, they can believe, and they can process, and they can learn. And the last thing that you said was, I think, was most powerful is execute, right? It's just executing this information, King. That kind of goes into, relationship building and all those things. And even my next question was, how do you, also while you're building a business, develop those relationships with people who see the same vision for you, right? Getting around people who have the same mindset. How do you develop those relationships and help people see what they might not even see in themselves sometimes? Because I know being a leader, it's not easy, right? So everybody want to sign up for that, but you also got to be able to I would say, interact with other leaders who have, I would say, great personalities as well, and they have goals and things that they want to accomplish. So how do you cultivate those relationships, or how do you build upon those?
Yeah. Hey, and real quick, I see a few people said they read The Go Giver. Hey, in this business, we in this business of team building and culture and all of that. Man, The Go Giver is a great book. It is basically a book that's telling a story about serving. Man, a phenomenal book, Drew. Like, definitely, bro. Do the audio at least. But that's something that everybody should read because we read a lot of like mentality stuff, strategy stuff, things of that nature. But it's really a book about serving, and it really like kind of opened my mind up to a lot of things as well. So definitely, I just want to tell everybody like that's a book that you should read. It being in this industry, you should definitely read that book. Um, but then your question was, how do you cultivate the relationships? How do you see something in others that maybe they don't see, right? All right. So as far as cultivating the relationships, you just gotta be genuine. You gotta truly want to see people win. I think at the end of the day, you really gotta be there for them to give them time to develop, right? You really gotta just like it's okay of you being where you're at right now. Now, here's some things that we can do so you can take some strategic steps to make sure you stay on course. I'm here. I want to teach you. You have to be open to accepting that, right? we're building a relationship off of us helping each other. And then I think as time grows, then it becomes like you becoming more friends, you becoming more family, and it grows into something deeper. Because I think everybody at the beginning of coming into this industry as an entrepreneur, the focus is I want to fix my credit, I want to get my finances right, I want to be able to generate some additional income, some income on the side, or to walk off my 9-to-5 job. So I don't really expect like the family friend feeling right away. But I think when you have some people around you, and it's like, man, these people really want me to win. This guy really want me to win. This king, this queen really want me to win. And it's hard not to show love back to that. When somebody's showing so much love to you, it's hard not to show that love back, right? And then I think the people that push away from that, they reject it. Oil and water don't mix. You know what I mean? They're gonna remove themselves, right? And then when you talk about like how do you get people to see, how do you get people to see what you see for them? They gotta give you the vision. I can't see somebody doing well that they rejecting everything. I can't. You want me to lie to you? Are you gonna be a top producer? I don't see it. I don't see it, not yet. But if you start to change your things, I can see like, okay, this individual, they got it. They hungry. They willing. They coachable. I could see that clear as day. But it wasn't my vision. It was the reflection. It was what's coming off of Drew that now I see. But I can't see that for somebody that they ain't moving in that way. I can have high hopes for somebody, but I don't see transparency, Kimberly. Like I don't see that. And I can't see that in everyone because that's not what they projecting. That's not the light that's coming off of them. Could the light change? You know, it go from red, yellow to green. Could the light change? The light could change. And don't nobody set your fate or your destiny but you. But I'm not going to cap. I ain't going to just tell somebody I see greatness in you and they ain't showing up to no training. They ain't checking in. You trying to set up a training call with somebody and they ducking and dodging you. You just trying to help them, right? Following no systems, following no blueprint. And yeah, you know, DMOs ain't getting done. I can't see greatness. I mean, maybe you're going to invent a whole new brand new wheel to this thing, but I know I'm going to follow the ones that I already did. I mean, you could try something new, but that's called a pioneer. But you know, they say pioneers don't always come back home. You know? So I mean, that's what I would say. That's what I would say. So like anybody out there that's like just look and see, okay, am I displaying these things that I see in myself, that my mentor would see, that my coach would see, that my business partner would see, that I'm hungry, willing, and coachable. You know, but at the same time, we also got to look at ourselves as leaders to make sure we're providing an environment for a person to want to be hungry, willing, and coachable. Yeah, we have to do that because the blessing could be blocked from both sides, one or the other. So it's a middle ground that has to be met. Or melt. I'll probably melt that thing together. I probably said that on purpose. But that thing had to melt together or it's going to create friction. It's going to be a block. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It go both ways, y'all. It go both ways.
So they
I'm
gotta
like,
want it
what?
more. They gotta want it more than you want it for them, of course. And like you said, that's powerful that you shared that. They gotta be hungry, willing, and coachable, like we all are. So and they can, execute and make that happen. That kind of goes back to your core values. You say you ain't gonna cap with them, right? I can see the light in you, but you gotta want to see it for yourself. That gotta go back to your core values. So that's something that I wanted to ask you as well. Being a man that's married for 21 plus years, congratulations to you, and your wife, Miss Chantel Shabazz, a phenomenal support system, obviously. What are some of your core values that help you, sustain that and build business, man? Tell me a little bit about that, and how do you, continue to show up for, and continue to win and be there for others, with, being married. Like, so how do you? Now, I know there's not a balance, so I know that's probably a awkward question. Is that balance? But how do you do that and still sustain success?
Man, I mean, you gotta want to win in every arena. That's one thing, right? You gotta not want to. You can't be a person that like likes to give up. You don't want to be a person that gives up at the sign of something not going right. Whether somebody probably like, he talking about marriage or he talking about the business. I'm talking about both. Right? They go hand in hand. And you married to the business, ain't you? Married to the game. It go hand in hand, right? I'm married to entrepreneurship, right? I'm not dating entrepreneurship. I'm married to it. See, when you dating, you can I ain't no ring on it. Somebody just dropped the ring. As soon as I said it, Octavia, let's go. Ain't no ring. Look, ain't no ring on you if you dating entrepreneurship, right? But you married to it, man. You married to it, right? Now, of course, all things don't go right, and sometimes it's the point where you got to part from something, right? You got to part from marriage, or you might have to part from business, but not at like, man, the wind blew me wrong today. I'm gone, right? So, it's got to be a sense of loyalty, a sense of respect, right? Your mindset of where you at with things that you're like, hey, I'm not quitting, want to make this work, want to make this business work, want to make the marriage work, all of that. It comes from your values, right? Your mindset. It comes from what you want out of life, right? The characters that you hold, all of that matters. All of that matters of who we are. And it's going to come out one way or another. And then we're going to learn some things in the process, in marriage, in business. As you go through the journey, you're going to learn some things in the process. And when you learn these things in the process, at some point, you got to be man enough, woman enough to realize you might not know everything and you might have to make some changes. You might have to tweak some things about how you do some things, right? You might have to be considerate of other people. You might have to understand how your actions affect somebody else's. So we all gonna go through in our business, in our marriage, a maturity phase. It's called growth. Yes, Summer, self-reflection, right? We all have a season where it's like, okay, maybe I wasn't operating the right way. Like even in the business, you got a join date and then you got a start date, right? You got a day you join, a day you enroll, and then you got the day you actually start working the business, right? Sometimes in relationships, you might have a join date and a start date where you're like, you know what? I think I probably need to get better with this thing, right? Just like in entrepreneurship, sometimes, in most cases, we didn't have people teaching us entrepreneurship. In relationships, we might not have nobody to have examples of good relationships. But just because we started on one way don't mean we finish that way. Just because we might have started, what they say, I may have come from a broke family, but a broke family won't come from me or something like that. Right? I think it goes something like that. But it's the same way in relationships as well. You can get better. You can grow. You can make it stronger. and then just keep working on it daily. Working on it daily. The same type of relationships you build in marriage, the same type of relationships you build in business here is you building up a bond of showing love for the other person, right? Treating each other nice until there's a comfortability there and then comes trust. And then now we can build something major. Man, that's what it comes down to, bro. Yeah, the wife said a lot of grace for your partner and yourself. Yeah, you got to give everybody grace.
That's powerful.
Room to grow, room to run.
That commitment. You said there are 2 days, right? A day you start. I want everybody to write this down and ask yourself this, especially after this call, because that's something I wrote down. The day you start, the day you signed up, and then the day you took this serious, the day you say you was going to be committed to finish. That's like you said, man, that hit me like a sledgehammer, right? That commitment with business and in marriage. Go ahead, King.
But that's not a shot at nobody.
That's powerful.
I don't want nobody to think that's a shot at nobody.
Nah, that's
like the day you start, and then the day you join, and then the day you start, the day you take it serious. That's not a shot at nobody, because everybody might have different reasons why they join date and they start date might be delayed. Some people join date and they start date might be a month apart, 6 months apart, might be a year apart, might be 2 years apart. But it could be for different reasons for everybody. It could be the decision, it could be what's going on in life, right? But the point is, I love people that have join dates and start dates, even though if they spread out. Why? Because that means they still here.
Absolutely.
They still trying to figure it out. Yep.
Man, that's powerful. And I had another question for you in terms of like just accountability systems. I love what your wife said about the grace and just, for yourself and others. Like, so, what other like additional accountability systems do you have in place? I mean, I want all the wisdom I can suck in, of course, because this company's about faith, financial stewardship, about family, and about, fun. So all of those things that you got to be able to add that inside of your marriage. So like, what other accountability systems do you have in place for business and maybe at a home that can help you, kind of get over the hump or just get through that?
Well, I think in the business, right? We have accountability for the DMOs. For the DMOs, make sure you're doing your posts, make sure you're putting up your stories, make sure you are sending your DMs, try to get some shout outs as well. We have an accountability system for the DMOs that really rewards the activity. But at the end of the day, I'm telling everybody, like, even when it comes to the DMOs and the we call it accountability sheet, right? Even when it comes to that, that's optional, right? That's something that somebody, if they want to do that, but it's not mandatory. But should they? Yes. Should they hold themselves accountable? Should they grade themselves? Right? Should they audit their business, track their business? Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely should do that. But at the end of the day, it's a voluntary army.
And say that again. Man, you read my mind, King. Voluntary army, because people only going to do what they want to do, and what, like you said, they can see. If they can't see it for them, then that sheet don't even matter, right? For some people, that sheet can be, man, that's my 6 figures. And that would be my next question. But I love that you said that it's a volunteer army. So I want everybody to kind of get that too, because when you understand that, it's group economics, and that you got to really want it for yourself and others. And that's powerful, King.
And just piggybacking off of that, you gotta want it for yourself more than your mentor wants it for you. But at the same time, as mentors, we gotta be conscious and have an emotional intelligence, right? To have an emotional intelligence to recognize who want it and who don't really want it so much. Because if we want it for them more than they want it, they're gonna reject everything. They're gonna reject everything we give them, because we might have a vision of where we could see them going, but if that ain't where they necessarily want to go right now, they ain't getting on that train. They're not getting on that bus. And so they're going to end up rejecting everything, and then that's going to create the conflict. But everybody have good intentions. But if we not aware of that, then we might end up just pushing somebody straight out the business. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we gotta be careful. Now, it's gonna be some people that's like, push me. That's why everybody should ask when somebody comes into business, and might have to ask more times than one time. If you're a mentor, come on, Drew. Come on. If you're a mentor, you're a coach to somebody, and you only asking them one time when they first come into the business, do you want to walk or do you want to run? You want to walk slow or you want to run fast? And they say, I want to run fast. And you never check with them later in the process to say, is we still running? Ooh. You might not ask that question because you might don't want to hear they don't want to run no more. Or they change their model how fast they want to run, and you want to keep pushing. Cause see, they might have changed. See, they might have just had that emotion in the beginning, that adrenaline pumping when they started. And then you thinking, what's changed with this person? But you don't ask. Right? I just want to run with the runners.
Speaking.
I'm going to walk with those that want to walk. I'm going to show them some love. I love the people that's walking just as much as the people that's running. It's all love. If you want to sit in the bleachers until your knees get warmed up, cool. I'm going to come back around. We're going to bring the water boy. Right? And when you ready to run, we're going to be right here on the track. But I'm not going to try to make somebody run who might just be in this business and just want to make a few dollars on the side, who might just want to be a part of the culture, who might just want to have a nice support system, who might just want to, you know what I mean, have something to do as a hobby as well. I got to be okay with that. Because we building something as a foundation that we can build on top of. Right? Yeah. So I mean, same in marriage too. I mean, I can't advise nobody on nothing because I know people have love at first sight, you know, and they get married very fast. But I would definitely say, you know, date for a while. See how that person is. Live with that person for a while, right? See how fast they want to move, and really realize and really start to seeing if y'all could click and connect, and probably even definitely I would say do some marriage counseling before you get married. You know, so a lot of things could be talked about because like it's two different people coming from two different worlds coming together to create one. And so, you know, you might be the same in a lot of ways, but you could be different in other ways and not really know that because you might be growing into, you know, these different seasons. Right? It's a little different when you probably when you get married when you're older, but we've been together for a long time. So we got married young. Yeah.
Smart man, right? No, I love that, man. That's powerful, man, and definitely an inspiration. What I would love to, ask you too is like, how do you challenge? And you might already answer this already, but meaning, building a business and having success and having all that wisdom and knowledge and having those systems in place. Like, well, how do you handle when challenges do arise? Like, when you building this business, like, what's your, I would say your go-to, like, what is your foundation when it comes to like challenges and overcoming them? Because they come in business and in life. So like, what is one of your big things to overcome challenges as a leader?
Well, there's a lot of different challenges. Like when you say challenges, you kind of grouping all of it together because I know you experience some challenges, and as leaders, you're going to experience challenges. And even if you only got one or two agents that you brought on into the company, you still a leader. Right? That's what everybody got to understand. Like you still a leader, you still leading someone in some aspect. But I would say when it comes to like challenges and how you deal with challenges, right? You probably want to stop and think about the situation of what's happening, analyze it before you speak on it. Don't be quick to the tongue. Don't be quick to just, I'm going to respond, right? You probably want to sit on that thing and give it a little time, whatever the challenge is, right? And before you just speak on it or jump into action. You want to really assess it. You might even need to get some counsel. Man, how would you handle this situation? If you don't know how to handle the situation, what would you do in this situation? You might want to get a few thoughts about how to handle these things. Now, this right here is very important, y'all, because I'm gonna say this. When you building something strong, the goal getters, the heavy hitters, any teams out there, right? When you building something strong, it can't be destroyed from the outside. It only can be destroyed from the inside out. It's gonna be a self-destruction. Not somebody from the outside. It's gonna be a self-destruction that break you up. Man, I've had the pleasure and luxury when I first came into this industry of sitting down with some people that have had to rebuild 2, 3, 4 times. By the grace of God, knock on wood, we ain't had to do that. By the grace of God, we ain't gonna never have to do that. But I mean, truly have to rebuild. And so I asked this individual, I said, we sitting down, we having dinner. I said, they said they had to rebuild 3 times. And I said, well, why you had to rebuild 3 times? Man, I got to a certain level and I took my foot off the gas, right? And I rebuilt and I got to this, I did it again. You ain't learned like the first couple times? Lead by example and keep leading by example. Then I talk with somebody else, got big, conflicts start happening. Money, egos, all of that start coming into play. Being catty, drama amongst the team, right? See, when you get to that, when you see certain things gonna come back to you as a leader, you got to be the one to keep it cool. Because if you feed into it, the whole thing blow up. You just shot the gun and the bullet went straight through the boat floor, and you planted a bad seed in your own organization, and something that you probably could have stopped because you fueled the flame. You the reason for your own self-destruction, right? So then you have challenges like that you got to sometimes take a step back from, and then just actually analyze the whole thing and then look at how you approach it. And then you have other situations where you're like, man, well, maybe how can we implement something where we can get more of the team active? We could, get more people involved. What things can we change? And you sit and you analyze that, you find what's been working, and maybe you also counsel on that as well. And then the other thing that's very important in leadership is you can't be to the point where somebody come to you and complain about something, you ain't willing to listen to them. That, oh, it's just one person that says something. Well, if it's one person in your organization says something, it's probably other people that's thinking the same way. They just ain't saying nothing. They just ain't got back to you yet. And if you don't listen to that one person, at least take heed to what that one person is saying and see, is there some real validity to this? By the time it really catch wind to you, it might be too late. Poof, Magic Dragon, where did it go? Nah, it didn't just blow up. It's been blowing up. You just didn't know it. You just didn't want to pay attention to it because it was only 1 or 2 people saying it. Nah, that's enough. So you got to be, we always say this, you never want to be around people that's just telling you everything you want to hear. And sometimes when you're around people that just telling you what you want to hear all the time, you get used to that and comfortable with that. And you so like, oh, people telling me everything that I want to hear. So you telling me something that I don't want to hear, you got to be wrong. Watch your mind, Jack. But then you got to be appreciative and grateful when that one person come to you and say something, or that person say something to you about this or that. It could be how the training is set up. It could be how the Zoom is. It could be something that was said. It could be, the event. It could be whatever it is. Take note of it, right? Because you should be appreciative for everybody in your organization. And at the end of the day, you only as strong as your weakest link. Yeah, if we move in the right way. Yeah, so that's what I'll say, Drew.
Yeah, my last question would be kind of, just on mindset and focus. Like, what is your, of course, you've had success and continue to have success and have shown other leaders in this industry how to have success. So obviously that's working. So what is your day-to-day focus? I know a lot of people on here might be saying, man, okay, what should I be focused on a day-to-day basis? I know, okay, building my business. I love that you talked about wise counsel. So I would highly encourage everybody to do that. I'll be hitting you after this, Aziz, right? Because now you just signed up to be a counsel for me. No, but no, getting wise
Got you,
counsel
bro.
is big, man. That's amazing. But what is your focus on on a day-to-day basis, King? Like, as far as building your business and just being an entrepreneur, because it has to be way different, especially for people who have, like I said, a traditional job and they're an entrepreneur. What should they kind of focus on to help them get through or have success, if that makes sense?
Okay, so you're talking about just affiliates in general, agents in general, team members in general. What are some things that they should focus on to achieve success?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. Uh, get to as many trainings as you can. Stay locked in with trainings. I don't care if you think you heard it a million times. Get to as many trainings as you can. You can't make the training okay. Don't beat yourself up about it. But it's the difference of I can't make it versus I could make it, but I just ain't going. Right? And even when it's like, because some people might need that mental break too. If you need that mental break and you got to look, I know it's a training, but I just can't. I'm a bust. I just need that self-care moment. Take the self-care moment. But it's the difference between needing a self-care moment or can't make it versus I could, but I just ain't showing up. That's different. So make as many trainings as you can because you're going to learn something from them. And it could be, what if it's that one training that you didn't make? I mean, these trainings is Zoom. You can lay in the bed with, you know what I mean, with the pillow behind your neck and eating some food with some ice cream or whatever and watch this training like, hey, Drew killing it. Right? Killing the ice cream and killing it on the screen, right? You can like make these trainings, these is free, right? Events, yeah, there's some money you got to invest to go to them, and maybe everybody might not be able to make events, but if you can make an event, I would highly encourage making the events, at least the convention, right? You say Drew shot us out, man. We got 81 people going. We got 81 people that have bought their tickets for convention. Now, I want everybody to make as many events as they can, but I'm so big on convention is because when I went to my first convention, that's what changed the game for me. So if you can make convention the biggest event that Nove gonna have, that's the one you definitely need to go to. See, some people got some awards that they're gonna be able to walk the stage and get, but they ain't going, so they ain't gonna get it. They don't even know that if they hit a title between the last convention and this next one, they gonna walk the stage, right? So trainings, getting to conventions, and then just putting in the work. I know, effort, y'all, effort. But putting in the work, you gotta send the DMs. You gotta send the DMs, y'all. Unless you in person. If you getting belly to belly with people, you gotta send the DMs. If you ain't getting belly to belly. Face to face, getting people in front of the information, always attempting to get somebody in front of the information, setting up a Zoom call, right? At least making sure they watch a video presentation or getting them to a live presentation, but the DMs gotta be sent. Something gotta be done. Right? Now, if you want to force the momentum, send more messages. Double up on platforms, get multiple platforms if you have to. Right? But sending the DM, sending the messages. Right? So, and then another thing that I would express, if I'm just keeping this thing simple, you send DMs and you want to send as many as possible. Right? You could do 10 a day, you could do 20 a day. You're trying to push the needle, you probably want to do 100 a day. Keep it 100 with you. But sending a lot of DMs, but this is the other piece too. Somebody, I'm going to keep it real with y'all, right? Not saying y'all got to go do this, but I'm going to keep it real with y'all if y'all want to see better results. When you sending DMs, it might take you 500 DMs to get somebody to a call or on the phone. But then it might take somebody else 1,000 DMs to get somebody on the call. But it might be the same script. It might be the same DM. Why is it taking this person less? They get more calls more than I'm getting, but we sending the same message. Man, because what would you do if somebody sent you a message? You're going to go check their profile. You're going to go look at what their page look like, social media presence. That's what we talk about. Shouts out to Roselle. She already know. That's one thing we train on, your social media presence. Do they see you? Do they see a picture of you? Do they see video of you? Do they see testimonials? Or is it just a bunch of videos that don't relate to your business? You sharing other people's posts. You ain't giving no credit tips, right? You ain't talking about working from home, right? You kind of a secret, like if they not seeing you, getting a feel for you, because in this business, we need people to do what? What's the 3 things we need, y'all? What's the 3 things we need? Somebody drop it in the chat.
Know, like, and trust.
We need people to know, like, and trust us. That's why Warm Sphere is the best leads you can have. Because they friends, they family, they co-workers. While we own that, Warm Sphere is not just people you talk to all the time. It could be somebody that you ain't talked to in 10 years, but they know you from school. Warm Sphere is the best leads you can have because they know, like, and trust you. Well, how do you turn your cold sphere, people that's just on social media, into Warm Sphere? How do you do that? Well, when they come back to your page, they need to hear your voice. Right? Man, I know Drew a little bit more. I see him. I see what he's doing. I'm following him. You know, I'm hearing his voice. I see his picture. I see him with it. Well, you know, he with his guys. Or I see Aziz with his wife, with his daughter. I see such and such with their son. You got to mix all of that in there so they can start feeling like they actually know you a little bit. The know, like, trust factor. If you don't build up the know, like, trust factor, you might find that you have to start sending more DMs to people than somebody else that's building up that know, like, trust factor. Might be harder for you to convert a little bit. Because if you went to the doctor, right, and you went to the doctor's office, and the doctor's office looked like a mechanic shop, it got sport cars and tools, and it's a bucket over there and stuff. You probably gonna leave that doctor's office. I ain't going back there, man. I don't know what that was. I think I walked in the wrong place. You gonna be ready to what? Report them. If your page don't look like you doing business, that you serving people, that you dropping tips, they might want to report you. Right? So you want to be doing these activities. You want to send them messages. You want to get with Warm Sphere and talk with them just so they can see what you're doing. Get them to Zoom calls in person, at least watch a video presentation. You want to do these things, but you also want to look like you are a professional in the industry that you in. And that can help with your conversion rate of how many people actually, I'm not going to say sales, but how many people actually may jump on a call with you. Because they're going to know if they want to do business with you before they even respond to your message. Yeah. So that's what I would say, Drew. And then from a leadership point, here go another, Jim, real quick. From a leadership point, what I would say is you always got to keep leading by example. You got to show that you putting in the work too. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you a certain title in this company, you a leader, whatever title you at, they're going to start thinking everything come easy to you. Oh, it's Drew. Wait, Drew, you national now, right?
Yeah.
You national now. I'm about to say RSD. Hey, shouts out to Drew, man. Get the round of applause. That man big money. Let's go. Big
You on the
buddy
way, King?
Drew.
Shout out. Appreciate you, King. You on the way. But you hitting on something that's powerful, King, putting leading by example, and like you said, thinking it comes easy. That's powerful.
Yeah, because they will think that, oh, it come easy to this person. It come easy to Drew. It come easy to Aziz. It come easy to Jasmine. It come easy. But like it come easy to me, whoever, Keisha Palmer. Like they gonna think that it's easy for them. But you got to show as a leader that you still putting in the work. And when you show you still putting in the work, you're gonna show the positives of people responding and people getting back to you and appointments you setting up. But also as a leader, you got to show that you get no's. You got to show that you get left on red. You got to show that, hey, these people ain't signing up with me neither. Like they ghosted me. You got to show sometimes I just got blocked. On to the next. It happens. That wasn't my tribe.
Yeah.
I got blocked too, y'all. Let's go. Next. You got to show that as a leader, because if not, they're going to think it's just coming easy for you and they don't really see the work that you putting in. Like they say, they don't know the work you putting in. You wasn't with me when I was shooting in the gym. Well, you got to take them to the gym with you.
Yeah.
I'm putting in work too.
Yeah.
Man, I pulled up my messenger the other day on the training. And I was scrolling. Left on red, left on red, left on red. No, 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 no. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. There go one.
Powerful.
But Aziz, you send a lot of appointments. Well, I'm going through a lot of people too. Right? Man, you gotta keep it transparent. You don't want your team thinking you just, the GOAT. You know what I mean? How many shots Michael Jordan missed?
Man, Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters, right? Kobe, one of the greatest all time, missed the most shots ever.
Yeah, took the most.
Like literally
took the most shots, missed the most shots. It come with it.
Somebody, man, I love that you said, one, put it to effort, leading by example, putting in the work, wise counsel, come to training. Y'all, he's dropping some jewels on here, and more importantly, be intentional. He talked about that on a day-to-day basis. If you are intentional about your business, it has no reason not to grow. But also, I love that you touched on and ended by leading by example, y'all. We putting in the work, man. He definitely was talking about some heavy hitting action. I love that, man. So, King, what would you say on the end this and close this out? I know we a little bit over, but what would you tell somebody who's maybe seeing this for the first time, or what they could do to kind of go in this year? Well, I know we're in November. The first 14 days is kind of a lot going on in terms of just the world. But what would you say to somebody who maybe just started? What would you tell them to help them be successful?
Man, just started. Man, don't let your mind get in your way. Man, do not let your mind get in your way. Don't get caught up in overthinking. Don't get caught up in thinking you can't do it. Don't be afraid of succeeding. I ain't say don't be afraid of failing, right? Because everybody afraid of failing, but there's people out here that's afraid of succeeding. They're afraid of success. They're afraid of the accountability. Now I gotta serve somebody, and don't be afraid of winning. Don't be afraid of winning, y'all. And somebody out there know what I'm talking about. I coach, I train a lot of people, so do Drew. And we come across people that's actually afraid to win. They say it out loud, but inside they're afraid of winning. Don't let that stall you out, man. Break free of that, them chains, them shackles. And this also too, Rome wasn't built overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. It was built brick by brick. So take your time in the business. Understand that first year gonna really be a learning process for you. Everybody want to rank up 2-3 months in the business. When I first came into business, y'all, I calculated and I did the numbers. It was less. I was like, this is less than $1,500, my join fee. And then I got 11 months I got to pay. I just wanted to make enough money. I wanted to make about $1,500 my first year. Because I said, if I can make $1,500 in my first year, then I can run my business without it costing me nothing, because I know my first year is learning. I just want to learn. I just want to break even my first year. I ended up my first year, and I was doing my first year part time, and I ended up doing like 30,000. Wasn't bad.
Ooh, say that again. Hold on, Aziz. You said your goal was to break even. Like most people will, I ain't gonna say we ain't talking about goal getters, but in 90 days they gone. You said your goal was just to break even, knowing that coming into business, going into we get college 4 years, and some people come out broke, y'all. So listen to what he just said. 30 grand in his first year, man. That's powerful, King. Man, that's something that's significant, man. Congratulations on that. And now look at it, multiple, 6 figures, and man, that's powerful, King.
Yeah. Just that was it, man. I just wanted to learn in that first year. I didn't want to put no pressure on myself. I didn't want to make this thing. I wanted to fix my credit. If I can fix my credit for free, I could break even. Because you know what I knew? If I was working my business, because I always plan to work my business, if I could just break even, then that was a year of me branding myself and getting people to know me for this service. And that's all I wanted to do was just really brand myself that first year. And that's what I would tell everybody to do is just brand yourself. But if you really focus on branding yourself, learning and giving yourself grace, not getting your own way, self-defeating thoughts, throw that stuff out the window. If you just do those things, you're gonna find yourself finding success in this business and likely making some money as well. Look at your inner self and your self-development before you look at your bank account. Yeah.
Man, somebody dropped some fire, some loves in the chat, man. I definitely want to give it back to you. Thankful, grateful that you came over here to serve, drop some nuggets, and really give people the mindset that they need to get to the next level, man. So, man, I hope y'all got some nuggets, some jewels, King. Thank you, truly appreciate you. I definitely want to give all praise to the Most High for giving us this Monday to actually have the ability to grow and come and part from us into the team and help everybody to be successful, y'all. Somebody put it's already done. It's clear vision. Obviously, we have the leadership, we got the mentors, we got the system, the value, and the resources to win, y'all. What I love what you shared about it, Aziz, is just thinking about it, actually learning it, and then executing, and then it's game on, y'all. So, man, shout out to y'all. Definitely give God the glory, and I pray that he bless all of our business with the ability to go out and help serve somebody in this season. And we know that there are people who need us. Let's just go out and win, y'all. Thank you so much, everybody. And Mondays for millionaires, y'all. We just waiting on some of the accounts to catch up. I love y'all, and good night. Peace, y'all.